What's going on, growers? It's James Prigioni coming to you live from Jersey. The temperature has really dropped recently, and it's clear winter is on the way. So today I wanted to bring you through the gardens, show you what we're eating now and what we'll be eating through the winter. Let's go! Last night was our first hard frost, which can be a little bit sad because it's like the official end of the growing season, but that's not going to stop us. We're still growing stuff, we're still eating stuff. Right here is one of our great season extenders. This is a persimmon tree, and it's got a lot of fruit on it. This variety, it's a hybrid. It's a cross between a Japanese persimmon and an American persimmon. So this one will be astringent if it's hard. You have to wait for the fruit to get very soft, mushy actually, before you even eat it. But again, this is one of the latest fruits that we have in here. So it's really cool to be eating it as we're almost moving into winter time. It's November today, and we'll be probably midway through November when we'll really start getting the bulk of these. I want to bring you into the new food forest now and show you some of my favorite cold hardy veggies that we have growing, the ones that we'll be eating throughout the winter. This one here we have first is Tatsoi. This is an Asian green, very cold hardy. This is one of those plants that they say you'll notice it when the snow is on the ground. It'll be sticking right up out of the snow, still growing. This has been cultivated, I've read, in China since about 500 AD. So they love it there and we love it here. You can even see the way it's designed. It's thick, it's tight, and it's a great tasting one too. Let me grab a little snack. Pretty sweet at this time of the year as well. Sweet, good. Even the stems have a nice little crunch and good flavor to them. Definitely one you want to have in your garden in fall. Very good. I've also got some spinach next to it too. Some Bloomsdale cold hardy spinach, but I've got that in other locations as well. So let's move over to some other cold hardy stuff. Another super cold hardy veggie I've got right next to me is Swiss chard. This is an excellent one. I think everybody basically knows Swiss chard. Nothing too special about it, but it is super cold hardy. Definitely one you want to have growing in the fall. This way it can take you through the winter, give you a bunch of snacks, a bunch of greens, because once middle winter comes, we're all craving those greens. Let me take you to a few more cold hardy ones. Next, let me take you over to a couple cold hardy greens, and these ones you may never have heard of. They're a little more rare. Let's start off first with this one right here, Claytonia. This one's sometimes called winter purslane or miner's lettuce, and it's a good cold hardy green, delicious to eat, one you probably haven't heard of before. The leaves are a little small, so sometimes it can be a little tedious to harvest it, but when you get a thick patch like this, it's real good. Sweet, tender, and these are really good cut and come again ones. So we'll come through and just cut a lot of these out, pick a bunch of them, throw them into a salad, and they'll continue to grow. And then the next one right here, which is probably tough to see, this one's called mashi. This one's also very cold hardy. It stays small, it doesn't get very big. Not a good one to really grow through the summer because it'll bolt pretty quick. And that's the same thing with the Claytonia. But plant them in the really early spring or plant them in the fall like this, and they'll survive you all winter. Before we move to the next cold hardy veggies, I wanted to just give you guys a peek and show you what the garden's looking like. It's so fantastic to be a part of a food forest like this, a perennial system where you can just see how the seasons change the face of everything, how every different season brings something else, a different gift, you know, a different problem, a different lesson. So it's just so fun being a part of it. Young apple trees growing up here. Got some blueberries right there, 2 different varieties. And even before they start fruiting, because they're 2 different colors of fruit, you can still see the different variety in the way the leaves change as fall comes. So some of them like that, this variety here is just beautiful coloring. Some of the blueberries will do that. They can be used as, you know, edible landscaping ornamentals as well. Young fruit trees over here have done real well. The peaches, look at this section of the strawberries. This is that variety that I loved, so I just encourage it to expand. While some of the other varieties, I think they're pretty good, but you know, I'm keeping those on check, keeping the area a little smaller. You can see we still have a lot of tomatoes and stuff to harvest. So I'm gonna be coming out in a day or so and do a harvest of all that. Have peppers, tomatoes, all different stuff. As we start to get these frost dates, I gotta make sure I remove it so I can get the use out of them. Even those green tomatoes. Some kales and stuff you could see here. Radishes, beets, more kale. Look at this, was the Swiss chard. Also known, this variety sometimes as perpetual spinach, that I've had since the spring. Look how thick that stalk is, that's crazy. So that thing will take you from, when did I get that in April till hopefully next April. Here's another one of those Swiss chards that have taken us, you know, through the whole season. It just keeps providing food. So Bill Mollison had talked about that. I listened to a recording of him recently, and he mentioned how Swiss chard was one of those things that the Americans just aren't growing enough of. I took what he was saying and I started to apply it, and I can't agree more with him. something that we should all be growing because it's easy. It may not be your favorite thing to grow, but it's good for you. So we're continuing to plant it. As you can see, Forrest is Savannah, she's over here up against the fence getting some snacks. The strawberries are really taking over in this section, which is great because we have a number of fruit trees here. So we're gonna have those strawberries growing around the base of the fruit trees, getting that extra harvest using that space. There's something over here that I want to show you. I mentioned in one of my previous videos that I had this sweet pepper here. I had no clue what variety it was because it looked and tasted like a hot pepper, but it was a sweet pepper. So a bunch of you came through in the comments and you let me know exactly what it is. This is the Habanero Pepper. So it is actually a habanero pepper, but it's a heatless one, the first sweet habanero pepper. So let's try a bite of it now that it's ripened more. And when I was down there, you could see that the plant kind of died off from the frost last night. So we're gonna harvest some of these in the next day or so. Let's take a bite though. Pretty good. Pretty good flavor, no heat. This would be a great one. I mean, it's good. The flavor is a lot better now than when it was white, but I mean, it's not an amazing flavor. It's just unique that you could have that habanero flavor without the heat. This would be a hilarious one to play a trick on somebody though. Tell them it's a habanero, give it to them, and then just wait for the heat to come. I just wanted to thank all of you who let me know down in the comments the variety of the pepper right there. It made it much easier on me. Right here, we've got some more Bloomsdale spinach planted. I want to move back to showing you the cold hardy stuff we have growing, and it's doing well. This is one of our great season extenders. As everyone really knows spinach, you don't want to eat too much raw spinach though because of the oxalic acid. Next to me over here is one of my favorite cold hardy ones. This is arugula. And arugula was actually one of the ones that I had growing in my garden, the latest out of any last year. Good leaves, great for salads. It's nutty, a little spicy sometimes. And at this time of the year, I think it's just a little sweeter once the cold weather starts to come. The uniqueness of the nuttiness in it, it's just so fantastic. That's why it's great to have in the salads. Adds that extra flavor. Reminds me a little bit kind of the spiciness sometimes with a nasturtium leaf, but the nuttiness, you just can't beat it. So good. So we're gonna be eating a lot of salads with arugula in them through the year. Before this video ends, I'm going to take you through and show you how the old food forest is doing, a lot of those fruit trees and stuff, so don't worry about that. But before that, I wanted to bring you over to, as most of you know, Tuck's favorite cold hardy veggie, carrots. He loves eating these things. You've seen him so many times do it. We'll bring him in a little bit, see if he wants one or not. And you know Tuck loves his radishes as well, which are right here. Another delicious cold hardy veggie. This section right here is radishes and arugula. You can see some arugula leaves like right here. And then here's the radishes. The radishes will last late into the season, they grow quick. And you can see this section, I just broadcasted the two kinds of seeds all together, growing well. And the chickens actually really like the radish leaves too. So we can eat those, but we usually give those to the chickens. We've got plenty of little radish heads growing in here, mixed with the arugula, which you love to see. Some of them are getting a little big. Some of them are still small. This one's still a little small, but nice little cherry bell radish it looks like. A little dirt. No big. Sweet, not sharp at all. And then you can eat the leaves too, but we'll give these to the chickens. They like snacking on them. Let me grab Tuck though and see if he wants a carrot. See, maybe dig up his own. You'll notice we've got kales here too. Another cold hardy winter one. Tuck, want a carrot, boy? More spinach over here. Tucky boy, want a carrot? Right here, boy. Look, boy, that one's sticking right out of the ground. Let's see if he wants one. Hopefully he takes the smaller one. He wants the big one, so I'm just gonna take him the smaller one. Looks like a little fingerling. And we're gonna wait later into the season for these carrots for us to eat because we want it to be nice and cold out. The colder it gets without the frost, the sweetness of the carrots really comes out. We'll let Tuck finish up his carrot here. We'll move over to the new food forest, show you some more of the winter hardy stuff that we have growing, and then just a quick little overview of what we have, the fruit trees look like and all that kind of stuff like that. Just jumped into the older food forest now. That's probably obvious though, just by the size of this hazelnut tree. It blows me away every time I'm in here. It's weird because I walk through the food forest now and on the ground there's leaves everywhere. The funny thing is though, it's the leaves from my trees. When I first started this food forest, you know, come fall, winter, there was barely any leaves in the ground. You couldn't even tell that there were trees in here. Now we're creating our own leaf mulch in different spots, and it's actually just fertilizing itself. It's getting closer to that self-maintaining system that we really wanted. But we've got the raised beds in here now, which is allowing us to grow some great greens, especially through the winter. As you can see in this section right here, we've got a lot of kales. That's one of our favorite to eat winter hardy veggies. We've got scarlet kale, which is a super winter hardy one. It's got these curled leaves. A lot of times when you see these curled leaves, it's tighter. Those are ones that are gonna be better for the cold hardiness. So scarlet's one of my favorite cold hardy ones. Then we also have the curled leaf ones like dark boar kale, blue leaf curled scotch. So a number of different varieties. So the kales are important. Other Asian greens we have in here too, like this one. I'm not sure exactly right now what the name is, but it's still doing well too. That'll last late into the season. We also have our just typical winter hardy lettuces too. This one here. So we're gonna be making salads with these lettuces. Kales we're gonna throw into there. And then back here is another winter hardy green, a really good one, Mizuna. As you can see, the leaves are pretty thin. It almost has a similar look to the arugula. In the mustard family though, not superly over spicy, but still good. Another Tatsoi right here. This is what it looks like when it's got more space. You can see we already showed that one, but then we've got a bok choy right here. You can see a little different than the Tatsoi and stuff. These are a delicious cold hardy one too. More lettuces. Then at the end we have another mustard green. But what seemed to happen is with the wind, we had really strong whipping winds last night, and that knocked out some of the mustard greens just a little bit, but they'll be okay. We'll cut some of those leaves off, let the new ones come through. And then we had a critter do a little work in here to rip something out. But no sweat, it's all right, we'll just keep moving. And then we have a number of different kinds of Swiss chard. This Swiss chard variety right here is supposed to be a really good flavor, better flavor than some of the other Swiss chards. So I don't know if it's as cold hardy or not, but still, we like to add a lot of variety. So if you're gonna plant kale, because it's a cold hardy one, make sure you're growing a number of different varieties of kale. If you're gonna plant Asian greens, grow Mizuna, grow Tatsoi, grow bok choy, grow pak choy. Make sure you're growing varieties, all different kinds. So the new raised bed in here is doing well, and I plan on building a little something to make sure that I can grow this stuff basically throughout the whole winter. I do have the other raised bed right there. I'm not gonna show you guys what's in it or what I'm doing with it just yet. Gonna kind of make you wait for that a little bit. And some of the tomatoes over here are still holding on a little bit, still got some tomatoes we're gonna harvest from. But the fruit trees look really good. It's at this time of the year where you can see how large they truly have gotten. Some of them still have some old fruit on them. We're gonna have to remove some of that, some fruit that rotted and went bad on the tree as a result of the curculio, the plum curculio. But we still have green beans growing over here. This is like a hardy variety of green bean. Even with the frost, it didn't cause too much damage, which is a great thing. More tomatoes over here. This new cherry tree that we put in recently, just doing fantastic. So sometimes when fruit trees go in the right spot at the right time, they just blow up, and those are the ones you really want to keep and get the most out of it you can. Sort of like this big cherry tree through the years. It's the queen of the garden. I call it all the time. Rhubarb, still doing well over here. More other fruit trees. This peach tree just got so big. And you can see probably at this time of the year why I had to remove a couple trees, because the last couple of years, they just have gotten so large that I had to open up space for airflow, for more light. And I wanted to get some more annual space, because with the new food forest and those fruit trees getting bigger, my annual space is starting to reduce. So now we're gonna do like a transition kind of thing where we're moving some annuals into here, some perennials into there, and it's just gonna be like this balancing act. It's nice having two food forests to be able to do that. A lot of fun. So many of these trees look good. Blackberries look good. Not too much to show over here besides maybe the shiso right here. This is like a mint. I think it's in the mint family, kind of like a mint basil combination. And I should have ripped them out, but I didn't. So I'm gonna have to cut them at the base. Hopefully the seeds aren't absolutely everywhere. That's okay though, because I'll go through this section and I'll cut these out of the base and cover it all with wood chips. So we shouldn't have too many popping up. Even if we do, they'll be easy to get rid of when they're young, just with a rake and the wood chips. So some of the figs are still on the tree, still waiting for them to ripen, loaded with figs. And if we don't get them, that's okay. Next year we plan on getting a lot from that. And we've got a number of different figs in here. Now we're kind of back at the start over at the persimmon. And we're gonna basically tie this video up. And it's been a lot of fun. I was away for a little bit, but it's fun to come back. It's fun to get into the garden and to just enjoy yourself out here. I'm already excited for next year. It's gonna be crazy what we're doing next year. We're doing times 10. That's today's video, growers. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. I hope I gave you some ideas of how to extend your season using the right kind of veggies, the right kind of crops, because eating latest into the season, then Everything tastes sweeter when you're eating it when you shouldn't be, especially when it's from your own garden. If you guys enjoyed the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share with your friends. Don't forget to check out the merch down low. Tuck and James will be coming back at you real soon. Videos throughout the whole winter. We out.